All right. I think I have it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? It is an early Friday. We got rain last night for the first time in weeks. And it's like all my plants outside are going, ah. Anyway, today I was going to do more cards, but I'm going to hold those off till Wednesday. And today I've got a scrapbook page for you. Hi, Linda. I am in a card making mode. I am in Christmas making mode. And I am trying to use up all my papers that I bought this year because I have learned that I buy new papers every year. And if I don't use them completely up, I never go back to them. And so I end up with this like weird hoarding problem. And so this paper is a part of that sentimental journey. No, I can't remember the name of it. Hold on a minute. Let me grab it. All right. It's called Sentimental Christmas. I bought 2 packs of it. And I absolutely love it. I love the retro style. Have you noticed the retro thing is really in this year? It's everywhere. All the new releases from other companies are the little retro deer and the little retro like ornaments and the whole thing. So I'm kind of excited that I'm sort of into it this year too, because I'm finding it. But this paper right here, oh my gosh, it is hard to use. I have been struggling. So this is, of my first pack, this is the only paper I have left. The back of it are these candles, and I like them fine, but I don't love this background color, especially, I don't know, it's too teal. I wish it was more blue. I don't know, something else. Even pink would work. I don't know, but I haven't been using this paper. And so I was kind of playing around with cutting it up for cards. Like I could make just card bases, make like 6 card bases out of it and then put something on it. And that seemed like a very easy thing to do. So I have this paper left, but today I thought I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to try to use it for scrapbook page, and it's a challenge. Then I started looking at the colors and I went through all my paper colors that I could find, and the greens in this are like peacock and spruce, and they're like teals, okay, kind of like the back. They're teals. They're not like true greens. I don't even know if you can see that, but they're like blue greens. So then I was like, ugh, because then I got out my Journey paper and my peacock colors to make photo mats. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think the Christmas pictures I want to put on here are going to go with those colors. So I need to figure something else out. Then I started looking at this background. So what I came up with, I don't know what it is in Stampin' Up world. I tried a lot of different colors on my coloring. But I think what it actually is a light version possibly of this Misty Moonlight. I'm not really sure, but Misty Moonlight seems to go with it. It's not gray, it's a blue gray. And so that made me pull out my Close to My Heart cardstock. This is Mist, which this true color of Mist, it's not too far off. It definitely goes, but it brings it into a darker kind of feel, like a nighttime. I don't know, it's not as bright as what I think of with like winter Christmas pictures. So I flipped it over and I think I'm going to use the light side of it. And that does help lighten it up just a little. And then, of course, I really like this blue with it, this Misty Moonlight blue. It just kind of goes with all of the colors, and I'm like, okay, I can work with this. Now, how do you work with this pattern? The pattern is hard because it is like an all over pattern, and no matter where you put your photos, if you put them vertical and sideways, I mean, in order to show some of the scene that's been painted on there, you're a little bit limited in what you can do, right? You can do something here and something here. And I was like, well, I don't even really like that lantern. I don't know why I'm trying to keep it. So then I was like, well, I could put a couple of photos here. And then I'm like, I got to do something different. So here's what I decided to do. I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to show you. I took one sheet of that paper and I started cutting out circles of it. This is what I have left. So of my deckled circles, I picked out like the biggest size I wanted. I didn't want it to take over my whole page. So I kind of went through and found like a big and then skipped one and a little bit smaller, you know, like something like this, for about 5 different sizes. The cool thing about these rings is that look how many you get. And so you can make, circles, a million, and rings, a million different sizes, right? So I just thought that would be perfect for this. I like how many options I had. So I just started cutting circles, and then I decided not to use this, but I saved it in case, I don't know, you know, I've lost my mind, you guys. I purchased I fell in love with almost everything in this little mini catalog, especially after the main catalog did not have as much in it that I thought I would like, and I really didn't buy as much. I kind of lost my mind in the Christmas one. And I bought the stamps and dies that make these little, this little lantern, and I like it so much better than this print, so I'll probably not use this. But anyway, put those aside. The other thing that I did then is I cut out the circles, and then I cut out the rings using that Misty Moonlight. So I have a whole bunch of circles. Let me set these aside a second. And I'm going to use white as my base page. And my thought was, well, I'll just, you know, put circles kind of down the page, however, you know, they look good, right? And just kind of do something with them, whether that means like cutting them off, like cutting them, make them go off the edge and trim, or whatever it is. I just want to I just made a whole bunch, and I made enough for both the left and the right side. Sorry, I didn't apparently attach all of them. So there's that. Are these all attached? Nope. This one's not attached. Let me do that. I could have done the same thing with any paper, I suppose. I mean, I struggle with these scenery style papers because I'm not the kind of card maker who likes to just slap a scene onto a page and call that card done. I like the artsiness of, you know, making my own thing. So I think I'm going to do something like this and just make the circles go down the page. Now, do I need to zoom out a little more? Trying to figure out how much of my page is showing. Okay. So if I'm going to do that, I need something here. This is where my photos are going to be. And you know, I like to put one main photo on the left side or the right side, and then the other side put more. And so I wanted to pull in that mist color. And so I cut one of these flag banners that I thought would look really nice here. And here's the dark side of that. And here's the light. And I decided to use the light side. I want it a little softer. And then my photo mats are going to be that misty moonlight. So I'm carrying that over. I think I'm going to just kind of make this happen. And then I started looking at my stamps. It's been a while since I inked and stamped and did something fun. And I looked at my colors. I pulled out the closest thing I have to Misty Moonlight, which is Bluebell, which is a really close match. Look at that. And then I pulled out Mist because it's Mist. Did I say it was Mist? No, Mist, that's right. Is the color of my background. And then I wanted something even softer, which is Linen, just in case I was inking. So here's what I came up with. I have my alphabet to make a title, and I pulled out the current Stampin' Up! Snow things. So I have this. I've been using this snow thing a lot. This is like, it is a red rubber mounted snow. I haven't even taken it off the backing because I've just been laying it flat and laying things onto it just to get that cool background. And I thought, well, that might work as kind of a neat, background on the page. I don't know. That might be too busy. And then I have this one, which is Frozen Edges, which I really like the snowflakes in this. It has dies. And, I love this die. And so I went ahead and I cut it out of glitter, close to my heart glitter paper. And I thought I could use it on the page like this. Now, I don't take a lot of winter pictures, so here's my plan. I mean, I do have some, but a lot of my wintry pictures are sort of fake, tend to be fake. Like, when you go to a store, there's a store here in town where you can like they have scenery set up, and then you stand in front of it and take pictures of your family or whatever. And that tends to be wintry. And also we are getting ready to go to Disney, and they always have a like fake snow during their Christmas time events, and it's so much fun. Oh my gosh. It really is like wearing shorts being out in the middle of a snowstorm. It's really fun. And I always have pictures. So I'm like, I may Disney-fy this for those pictures. But in the meantime, I'm just going to make it wintry, and it'll be good for Christmas or winter. I can do it either way. Now, this little snowy wonder, it doesn't have it has 3 snowflakes here, and then it has this little scatter element. And I was like, well, I could use that. I'm not sure if I will, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a few things on blocks just so I can grab them as I'm inking and playing. I have no idea what I will end up using, so I want to be prepared. And where's that little, it's right in the middle, of course. I don't think I'm going to use the big snowflake in this bundle right here because it's rather large. but I'm going to leave it out just in case. I kind of like this delicate style for this page. And one of the things that kind of got me thinking was this snuggle up and hope for snow. I love the snuggle up idea. And when we do these snow event things, I'm going to move these out of the way for a minute while I prepare to ink. I could put this on here so I'm not messing with it, and it'll give it a chance to dry. So one of the things that's so fun is like when it does do that snowstorm thing in Florida or whatever, we always like cuddle up to take our selfie, and I'm like, oh, snuggle up. I love it. And so just tentatively, I cut the word snuggle up out of those little letters. I'm not sure that's what I'll use or not, but I'm ready if I decide to. Okay, so I was going to just ink, I was just going to ink the background with linen, just a little soft, and then, do some snowflakes and mist and bluebell. But then I was thinking it would be so fun to use a stencil. I haven't used a stencil for a while. And this is one of those close to my heart stencils. It is wood grain. It came in one of those packs that were 12 by 12 that I cut down. And I just thought it would be kind of fun to go ahead and like use these. I'm gonna put this on a thing so it won't slide everywhere. Sorry, I'm trying to make room so that I'm not messing everything up. Okay, so I know I'm gonna have a circle here, but that means I could use a little wood grain up here in the corner, and not a lot. I don't want it really strong. See how that is? Kind of soft. I know I'm gonna need it across the top. Now, when I do stencils, these are a lot flimsier kind of feeling than some of the stencils I have. Like, like the stencils, a weak stencil, if that makes sense. It's not paper, but it's not strong enough to like be rough. And so you can see it kind of moving on me. Ideally, I would just tape it down, right? So I'm just going to put a little wood grain at the top, and I know I'm going to put this on here, so I don't have to do it everywhere, okay? But I do think I need some of the wood grain just over the entire top of the page, at least where I'm not going to have circles. And I'm not doing the whole page. That would be crazy. One other thing about stencils is it really helps to wax on and wax off, like go one way and go the other way, because when you do that, you catch all those little nooks and crannies. I'm looking to see how far over I need to go. I'm just gonna so I'm waxing on and waxing off. Slowly, wax on, wax off. And that way you catch all those edges of your stencil and you get a more defined look. Now, if you just want this splotchy here and there, here, there, and you don't want to make it real defined, you don't have to work so hard. I'm going to turn it just to give it a little bit different appearance here. And I'm using linen, which when Close to My Heart came out with it, I almost didn't buy it. I mean, I buy every color Close to My Heart had, but it was like, seriously, will I ever use such a soft color? And what I found is it's actually just such a nice soft gray. It's very subtle, and it really does like look good on this page, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. All right, so I'm almost done page 1 with this inking. I have a little bit down here at the bottom I want to do. I don't know whether I should do this side. Yeah, it's a pain. I get impatient, but I don't know why, because I actually enjoy doing this process. It's just, sometimes I think, gosh, I don't want to spend all day on a page, you know? I mean, sheesh, scrapbooking can take so long. And I don't even have pictures with me today, you know? All right, so there is my left page. I have a real soft, I hope you can see it, a real soft wood grain on there. I'm gonna move my light. I don't know if that helps or makes it worse, but okay. Anyway, hope you can see it. Hello, everybody. So tentatively, I know I'm gonna have this here, and I'm gonna have circles going down the side. What that means is I'm gonna have some open areas like through here, you know, just through here on the wood grain. And I really want to play around a little bit with some snowflakes. So I don't know which color to use. Honestly, I think they'll both look great. The mist is this color, and the bluebell is like that misty moonlight. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp. Oh yeah, see, that's mist, and that's plenty dark for me. I'm just gonna kind of go down. Now remember, there's gonna be circles and stuff. So I just want to, I could have even probably done that a little second generation, but that's okay. That's okay. Now I'm gonna go in with the bluebell and do, maybe I'll put my circles on, and then I'll go ahead and like do fill in with the smaller snowflakes. I like that idea a lot. Okay, let's get this piece on. I feel like I'm constantly moving it around. It's time to anchor it. So I'm just going to put it here. And then I have a photo mat that I want here. I did buy that 8.5 by 11 pack of the Misty Moonlight because I felt like I didn't have enough of that color, and I really like to do some of my cards in a secular tone. Like I like to have, you know, the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph, and I like to have some cards made that way. And so I bought that set, and I've seen several demonstrators using those colors, you know, with that stamp set, and I'm like, okay, I love it. Okay, I like how this kind of crosses over a little bit. I don't know how much over I want it, but I do kind of like that. All right, I think there's how I want my circles to be. I don't know, random. I have no pattern or anything I'm going off of. I just know that this was a great way to use those papers that are so hard to use for me. If any of you have used those scenery papers. You know, some of the companies that are making those big scenery papers are like, you know, I think Graphic 45, 49th and Market, who else? There's a whole bunch of Minte. I don't know how they pronounce it. Minte, something like that. They have them. And there's a whole bunch, but I'm drawn to them. And I do have a few in my stash, but I struggle. I don't want to, it's like you don't want to cut them up, you know what I mean? I think these two I might put on foam, just because this one's going to overlap my picture. I'm a little nervous about having that overlap too much. So let me get out my, and what kind of scrapbooker would I be if I didn't constantly use foam tape? Let's see. So I am going to try to put 3 pieces on this little one, just because I can leave the backing on part of it and only undo part of it, if that makes sense. All right. That way I can tuck my photo under. Okay, just try to. All right. And of course I put that on weird. Give me a sec. I'm just scoring that tape so that I can remove the backing off of only part. And I'm just going to leave the backing on the rest. Another way to do that is to, you know, use part of your sticker sheet. There. Now I still have that kind of set up where I can still slide a photo underneath if I need to, or when I need to. Now I made this stick up past the page a little. There and at the bottom. And so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. Get that off of my work surface. Okay. I like how it's not just in frame, like it's not just circles in the frame. I like it going off. And I think on the other page, I'm going to have it go off a little bit more even. I feel like I need more of these snowflakes down here. So let me get out my mist. And then you need like a, I don't know, I have this Post-it as a block. Although it's the same color, I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, but all right. Yeah, I like that. And I don't want it completely covered. I want to be able to see that cool wood grain effect. Now I'm getting out my darker snowflakes, and I just want to add a few here and there. So I haven't heard from anybody about what kind of thing you would like to see during Margie's New Year's Eve thing. And I've been thinking about it because I think we could have some fun making desktop calendars, or I don't know. Or we could, you know, even just wintry pages. I'm cool with that, whatever. But obviously, I'm going to have more than I can use because I need to take more photos, apparently. So, okay, I kind of like that. And then I'm going to leave some room for gems on this page. I'm going to do gems last, though. Should I do a few sprinkle elements, too? I like... I kind of like how the little dots fill in some of that space. And they don't all have to be the darker color. You know? All right. All right, I'm going to stop there because I get carried away. Okay, so there's basically the left page, and I have some other ideas to deck it out. Things that I punched out and cut out and put together. So just hang in there with me. Okay, so this one, I cut a bunch of pieces. I have circles again. And did I glue them all together? No, I did not. Why? I apparently got a little busy. Now, if you remember in the paper, let me grab the paper. The upper left of this paper was like an overhanging branch. And it has snowflakes in the right corner and left corner. And then the bottom had these trees with a branch. And I definitely wanted to get some of the trees. I wanted to get some of the snow. And, you know, I wanted to get all the parts. So when I cut my biggest circle, I cut it from up here, as you can see there. And then I use a smaller circle to cut there. And then down on this page, I cut my biggest circle with the trees and the second largest with the trees. And then I just wanted to get, I was kind of wondering, I wasn't sure if I would need to use some of the circles as like journaling spots, or, you know, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with them. So I made a couple of them kind of soft. I was a little nervous that, you know, I would not have any space left after I use these giant circles all over the place. And this page, I want more photos. And so I cut the photo mats smaller. This is like 3.5 by 5. And this one is a true, like this is my biggest photo for the page. And I cut this mat 4.25 by 6.25. And I just thought, I want it to be horizontal, because I always seem to take one really good picture vertical, one really good picture horizontal, and the others are just sort of extra. So this one I could put like this, or we could put them side by side. Either, no matter how I do them, they're gonna look great, right? But I think I'm gonna end up with more vertical pictures. And I just need to know that when I take my photos, I just need to remember that I need to take a little both ways, right? I have to remember to turn my camera. And on this one, just for balance, I'm gonna put the bigger circle at the bottom, because the big circle is at the top on the right, on the left-hand page. And then I have a couple of trees, and this one. I like the idea of the trees continuing near the bottom of the page. So I could do it this way. I'm not sure. We'll see what looks good. And then these will continue up. Right? I could do something like that. All right, let's prep this page now that I have a plan, a tentative plan. Now remember, we are back to the stencil. if I can find where I put it. I set it aside so I wouldn't lose it, and the first thing I did, lose it. All right, so we're not going to have very much of this page showing at all. It's mostly this right side, maybe a tiny bit at the bottom. So we don't have to do a ton of things on this one. Okay. And I have my sponge, my linen. So I'm definitely going to ink this side. Wax on, wax off. And yeah, most people who are good with stencils, they tape them down or something so they don't move and you don't get that like ghosting from your stencil shifting, you know. But I'm not like most people. I just sort of do my own thing. Okay, I'm going to flip this around again. And remember, we have big circles here, so we don't have too much more here to do. So while I'm doing this, I can tell you about my week so far. It's been crazy. So we're driving to Florida. So we had our car checked out. They checked everything out. My husband had them especially check the battery because our battery is about 5 years old, and that's when they start to die. And so he's like, please, let me know especially what the battery is doing there. And everything checked out great. So happy we had new tires put on the car and everything, because my car is starting to get, a little bit older. I'm just going to do a little touch up here. And then yesterday when I was getting ready, I needed to go to Daisy Lane to pick up something from them, and my car would not start. And I can't even remember the last time I had car trouble, because my husband's so into the car thing that, like, he does not let our car go unchecked and untaken care of in any way ever. And so it's so weird to have car trouble. And so I called him and I told him I thought it might be the starter, because we had everything checked and I didn't know what it was. I'm not a car person. I just know it went click, 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 and that was it. And so he said, oh, it's got to be the battery, because it's 5 years old. And so that's what happens with 5-year-old batteries. I'm like, I can't believe that. Anyway, sure enough, it's a battery. And so he's getting a new battery put in my car today. How much fun is that? Okay. I'm just going to put a few snowflakes around. What I don't like about this stamp is it has a hard edge. You can see it has a hard edge, and it's not like it interlocks that I can find anywhere where you could easily like make it a full scene. So I know that's whiny. That's a whiny thing to say, but it does make it hard to fill a space with snowflakes if you want to fill a space with snowflakes. It's just, I don't know. It's just a little bit of a challenge. I realized I went through all my snowflakes because, I love snow. I love winter. I buy every snowflake set I ever can find. And then I realized I got rid of a bunch of my snowflakes last year in the Daisy Lane sale, because I I really felt like I had too many. And then when I went to find snowflakes for this page, all my snowflakes are just such different styles. Like some of them are so ornamental looking, you know, they're all frilly looking, and some are just lines like this one. And I needed all different sizes, and I'm like, okay, that's the last time I just get rid of something in my collection willy-nilly, because I obviously needed it. Okay, I kind of like that. Do I want to move these? No, I don't. I like this. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this on, and I'm going to have this hang off the edge. This one I probably should put on foam, just so I'll be able to tuck my photos in without any trouble. This one I can definitely go flat. All right, I just used up my big roll of foam, so let me grab a new one. I bought this wagon wheel of Scotch 3M tape at the last Daisy Lane garage sale, and it's the only problem I have with this tape. All right, let me try to do it right this time. The only problem I have with this tape is over time, it does have a tendency to lose a little bit of its stickiness. I have noticed this brand of tape, it's like, it's not as permanent or something. And so when I use it on a scrapbook page, it is acid free, so that's not a problem. But when I use it on a scrapbook page, I always use it with a second, like liquid glue or something. You just, I've learned the hard way, people, that these tapes over time, and the tape runners I've had especially big problems with, it's like they dry out. I don't know. They just don't hold up over time. Now, I guess I could take that top one off. It's not gonna be a problem if I can get a hold of it. There. All right. So this is the only tape that I left with the backing on it. And this one, I'm not sure I need to leave backing on either of those. So since I put the tape more to the center, it can overhang a little bit and I'll still be able to use it. Okay. All right, now I'm ready to fill in with a few stamped snowflakes. Gosh, these are pretty. These colors together, I am thrilled. These are amazing. I think they look awesome. And I'm really happy with how this looks. I'm gonna put one up here in the corner. All right. Oh yeah, and then I was gonna do a little bit of the scatter. Let me do that. And then we can put the final decorations on. I just think this is really pretty. What this dot does is it helps with that harsh line of this snowflake stamp. Since the snowflake stamp has that like hard edge to it, which I don't love, the little extra dots and things kind of make the edge less harsh. I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm going for. And it still looks like, you know, falling snow. All right, I think I am done with that, and I just need to cut my excess off here. I'm cutting off multiple layers. That's why I'm like, "Urgh." Come off of there. Okay. All right. There is page 1, page 2. I'm going to put them side by side now, and then we can do our decorations. All right, let me zoom out just a little so you can see both pages. When I move my camera like that, does it make you sick? Like woozy? It's like, wow. Okay, so there are my 2 pages side by side. Pretty straight. Okay, here's what I have done. I cut my letters for my title, which I think I want my title down here at this bottom. So I'm just gonna throw my letters down there, because I like that snuggle up thing. I made a sled, kind of like I did for the tags, only I made it all white with just the silver runner. And I thought that would be a really cute kind of decoration on the page, maybe in the corner. I don't know where I want it yet, but I like it. I like it a lot. This little bundle right here is the die cut from this sled, and it technically, I think it's made so that it'll go on top, like, you know, and then there's like a bow, so you can mess around with that sled. I made one that was red, not for this page, kind of clashes, but you can see what I did with the greenery on it. But anyway, I was just messing around. That was the first thing I made with it. But I like this, and I liked it cut out of that silver foil, and I thought it was kind of nice idea to put on these circles a little bit, because I feel like if I do put some words or some journaling on there, it'd be nice to highlight the circles a little bit. And this is my blank one, so I'm going to put that on there. Sorry, my glass mat is too small for 2 pages. Have I said that a million times yet? It is, though. It just needs to be a little bigger. And this one is the same way. I could put it on this one over here. It's a little matchy. I gotta think about that one a minute. The other thing that I cut, I used my paper punches, and I punched some just white snowflakes, because I like the idea of being able to put gems in the middle of them. And so I'm just going to put, you know, a few white snowflakes as like overlap. So what's everybody got going on today? After we get batteries, I've talked Steve into going with me to Lowe's, because I really like their winter blow up stuff, like for the yard. And I want to see what they've got this year. I feel a little bit behind, because I know they've had winter stuff. Everybody's doing things so early now. Like Halloween was in like July or August. And how frustrating to, you know, have things so early. And I bought my, the Lowe's guy told me is that what's been happening in their stores is they get these shipments. Yeah, I think this one. They get these shipments in early, and they put them out because they've got, you know, they're told they have to. And then closer to the holiday, they get another shipment. So it's like they have, I'm going to put something on that to dry. They have things and then they get more things, and by then everybody's already bought everything they need. And so I'm trying to, I think for the Halloween stuff, I ended up getting like the late shipment of items. So if that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna see what I can get for Christmas this year. I have some really cool stuff already. Last thing I need is more. And, you know, my dad and I always have made things for the yard. So we have definitely got things for the yard. But some of them are in a little bit of a need of repair. And my dad is having trouble getting around. He's lost a lot of his oomph. And so when we go out to the garage to do a project like that, it's got to be a really warm day, which means summer, because he gets so cold out there, even with the heater on. Or it has to be a short project. And so sometimes he just tells me what I need to do, what needs worked on, and I go out and do it. Which is fine, it's just not as fun. And then I have all these giant wood things, you know, the stuff that you see in parks and, you know, when you drive through parks and stuff like that, that's what we make. And we sold it to people for years. As a matter of fact, I can go to some of the houses in Mahomet near here. They have several streets where, like Candlestick Lane or something, where people will deck out their yards. And I see a lot of our stuff that my dad made on those streets, which is really cool. And at the same time, you know, my yard looks the same way. I just don't get the traffic to it. And the last couple of years, I've been selling some of the decorations out of my yard because they need repair and I don't want to do it. I'm like, Dad, I'm lazy. I don't want to. So he's been having me sell some of it. I just don't know where to put that sled. Any comments? Should I put it here? I kind of like it there. I like it in the corner. I think here is the spot though. Anyway, so I have kind of been lazying out and turning to some of these blow up things. And I know it's a cop-out after so many years of having such cool, handmade, really neat things in my yard. To go buy stuff feels wrong. And my daughter just hates it. She's like, Mom, it's just not right for you to go buy things for your yard. So I know. I'm like, I know. Okay, it's time for bling, and that's the last part. I have these druzy dots. I don't know why they call them druzy. I need to look up that word. Like, what does that mean even? I've used up almost all the gold because everything is gold this year for some reason, but I am into silver and I want to put a few silver dots on. So that's my plan. And again, these adhesive glue dots are great, but I find that I really like the extra adhesive, especially when I'm working on a scrapbook page. When you're in a card, working on a card, it's like whatever. But when you are working on scrapbook pages and you really want things to, you know, like stick forever, think about, I might put a different kind of gem in the middle of those snowflakes. I just like the extra security. Okay, I'm gonna move my weights here. Yeah, that works pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put a couple there. I'm looking up to see if I'm still in frame. One of the things about zooming in and zooming out and messing around with the camera is I don't always get it right. All right, I'm gonna put one there, one there, one there. So I'm just messing around. You can tell I've got the door open. I got Moose looking out the door for me, checking to see what's happening in the world. He just hates that. There's a, do I want one over there? I feel like I do need something over there. There's a couple of dogs that just love to look at him and then pee in the yard when they see him watching. It's like a interesting dog alpha thing. Okay, this is basically it. You know, what I am thinking of, though, is taking some of these bitty dots and just, you know, some of the old Close to My Heart dots that are little, these are glittery, these druzy ones. So if I use the bright ones and put them on my snowflakes themselves. The only thing about, you know, sometimes with these, some of the gems, if you put them on things that are elevated, they'll poke into the page next to them. Does that make sense? Like when you shut your book or whatever. And so I am really careful not to overstuff my books anymore. I used to. And then one time my grandma tried to look at some photos and she couldn't lift the book. I had to lift the book for her and I'm like, okay, these are too heavy. These are too much. All right. There we go. There's what I ended up doing with that page. I've got room for some journaling. I love the title, The Snuggle Up. Look at that. I got dust on there. Okay, and here's the original page again. And you can kind of see where I took, you know, the circles from to get the different looks. And I could have used the, you know, I could have used the hanging lantern somewhere. It would have worked just fine on here, but I just didn't want to. And I really love that soft stencil in the background. It just keeps the page from looking quite so stark. And it didn't take very long. So, all right. I've been on for an hour. We put this together pretty quick. I'm all done. If you guys have ideas for what you would like to see for the New Year's Eve thing, please let me know because I'm open to whatever. If you want to see, you know, scrapbook pages, that's cool. Cards, that's fine. As a matter of fact, in some ways, cards are easier because we have 2 hours. I mean, you know, we could do some pages like this. Margie likes it when I have some sort of kit. And so, you know, for me, it's all about, I want you to buy this thing from Stampin' Up through me, and then I get money for it. And that way there's not me going through PayPal or whatever to get people to pay me. and me shipping things out and stuff, because it's always more expensive that way. And if we come up with a project together that everybody really likes, you end up with extra papers, and we can, make more things with them through January during these lives. So think about it and let me know. There you go. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.